everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, and we are back doing another Guilds of Ravnica Intermediate Swiss Draft League. This is quite the pack. We open Izoni, which I think is a really good card. I'm pretty tempted to take the Murmuring Mystic, though. It's a lot less color intensive. It's cheaper. It doesn't have the card draw effect, but I feel like it goes in both blue-black and blue-red, which seems a little bit better to me. A little more versatile. It's a very, very powerful card. Izoni is also good, but remember, I mean, this requires that you have creatures in your graveyard, but you can sack other creatures and gain life and draw cards. It's a powerful effect. This has a good body, a surprisingly good body as being a 1/5. And like I said, it's cheaper, it works in more decks. It also gives you evasive creatures, which is different. It requires instants and sorceries. This requires creatures in your graveyard. Both of them work well for their strategies. I think I'm going to go Murmuring Mystic, though. I think Izoni is very good, by the way. But I think Mystic is actually just a little bit more bomb. Alright, follow-up pick. Well, Unexplained Disappearance is very good, obviously. We have... what's the best card in the pack? Direct Current is removal that we can use twice. Disappearance is definitely good. It can also save Mystic, which is kind of nice. We definitely want to play the Mystic. Direct Current kind of puts you right into Izzet, doesn't it? But it's got to be a better card than Unexplained Disappearance. So I think the best card is Direct Current here. By quite a bit, actually. Wait a second. Never mind. I guess a Symbol is the best card. Alright, we're taking a Symbol. This is definitely the best card in the pack. Instant Speed Army. That's actually weird that it got passed. Okay, pick number 3. We've got Inspiring Unicorn, which I think is a really strong card, especially with a Symbol. It's pretty good with Mystic, too. Maybe there's some way we can splash Mystic, I don't know. But I think Unicorn is definitely the strongest card remaining in this pack. This is a very, very strong card. It attacks as a 3/3 as well, which is just really good. We'll take it. Pick number 4, best card in the pack. We have Gorgon, which is got Death Touch, not bad. We've got Righteous Blow, which is removal. It's not great. Sacred Foundry's not that great either. Best card in the pack. It's all pretty mediocre, to be honest. Could just take a Guild Gate. I guess we take the Righteous Blow. There's certainly some matchups where Righteous Blow is a good card. I mean, there's Hitchclaw Recluse, there's Crawl Forager. All this is pretty underwhelming stuff. Poisoner, Centipede. I guess we'll take Righteous Blow. It can kill things. So now we have Sworn Companions. Definitely good with the Inspiring Unicorn. Pretty good with Murmuring Mystic as well. This Mystic is looking really good, but unfortunately Bant's not really a thing. But still, I mean, you can splash for it if you have enough goodies for it. This is also just really good with Convoke, which is the entire theme of Selesnya. So we probably take the Companions. Generous Stray is very good. I like it. Good for Convoke. Good for just getting some card advantage. There's an Unexplained Disappearance in here and a Selesnya Guildgate, but I can play a lot of Strays. I think it's a good card. Swarm Guildmage is actually pretty good if you can get a ton of bodies, which we can totally do. Otherwise, there's a Gateway Plaza, another Selesnya Guildgate, and Prey Upon, but we don't have great bodies for that. I'm kind of tempted to take the Guildmage, actually. I think this card could be really good for us. That Pump Team Menace is looking really good with what we already have. I think I'm going to go for that. It's a little bit awkward on the splash, but not even really. Not too bad. It's certainly better than everything else in that pack, I would say. For what we're trying to build towards, I would think. Flight of Equinox is a great card. I really like this a lot. 4/5 flyer. I mean, obviously it looks expensive on the top end, but if you ever pay like 5 mana for a 4/5 flyer, you should be feeling pretty good. I think we'll take it over a Crushing Canopy. Another Generous Stray or a Pitiless Gorgon. I'm going to take the Stray. I really like the card draw with the Convoke and the Guild Mage as well as the Inspiring Unicorn. Undercity Uprising is looking a lot better with these little dudes that we don't care about losing and just getting a bunch of Death Touch things. And I'm still kind of feeling like Abzan is a direction we can go. Now I definitely wish I had the Golgari Guildgate over the Righteous Blow, but that's okay. We'll take the Undercity Uprising over Vigor Spore Worm and Wary Okapi. Rosemane Centaur is quite good. Otherwise, Sumala Woodshaper is not bad either, but I think we want the Centaur. I'm pretty impressed with this card. If you ever can play it for 3 or 4 mana, you should be feeling pretty good. That's a cheap cost for a Vigilance creature. A 4/4 Vigilance creature, no less. So Utopia could help us fix. It also gives us some card draw. I think I'm okay with playing it. It cantrips, so it's never really terrible. It's just never really great either. But if we don't get the fixing that we want, it could be a way to still pursue the... Oh well, at least I had it selected. I didn't realize our clock was going down so fast. Alright, we'll take the World Soul Colossus here. Another big Convo creature. Good one to wheel. Got another Utopia, okay. And a Restorer. I don't know if we even... How much tools do we even have for the Murmuring Mystic at this point? The Utopias aren't tools we can use, so it's basically Companions. Oh, Bounty of Might. Wow, we're taking that. Card just wins games. Yeah, we don't have that many tools for Murmuring Mystic anyway, although Murmuring Mystic Undercity Uprising is really cool too. It's probably a little bit too ambitious. Price of Fame is good, obviously, but we just got to take this Bounty of Might. This card just wins games. An extra 9 damage out of nowhere. Yes, please. So Plague Crafter is actually pretty good for us, even on the splash, just because we have probably a good amount of creatures to just sacrifice. But unfortunately, I think we got to take the Guildgate. We want some, well, yeah, I mean, if we're taking another card, we're going to splash. Honestly, we probably don't even have to splash black, but there's nothing here. I mean, do I really want like I could take a Fresh Face Recruit. I don't really like it that much. I don't really like Wary Okapi either. I think we'll take the Golgari Guildgate. Open up the chance of splashing if we need to. So here, Luminous Bond, pretty hard removal. I think we got to take that. Otherwise, there's a Selesnya Guildgate in here, which is good. And a Vigor Spore Worm. I actually like Vigor Spore Worm, but we've got pretty good top end already. There's also a Blade Instructor in there as well. We'll take the Bonds, though. I like the Deal With Anything card. You can splash for Lotleth Giant. It's okay. Collar the Culprit's a sideboard card. Don't need the Dimir Guildgate. Restorer is pretty unexciting. Not going to splash for a Street Riot. So we'll take the Giant. It's expensive, though. Alright, Rock Charger is incredibly strong, so we're going to take that over Parhelion Patrol, Guardian, Stray. A bunch of cards we'd want, but Rock Charger is just very good. It flies, gives something else flying. It's uncommon in this format, even though it was, you know, the Pegasus Courser or whatever was common in the last set. I'm okay with Peacemaker here, but we may want the second guild. We honestly, there's a pretty good chance we don't even end up in black. I don't think that we are, now that I'm thinking about it. These are, it's cool to have them, but we're looking really good actually. And then we don't even have to run the Utopias either. I kind of like this more. Let's play the Peacemaker instead. I don't think the Murmuring Mystic's going to happen either, quite frankly, but whatever. So we can take the Guildgate. Like I said, Vigor Spore Worm's a good card. We're kind of good on top end. I don't even know if I want to play the Restorer. Um, Pack Beast is kind of a good way to get into. It's a more exciting card than Recluse. I think we'll take the Pack Beast. Could get the fixing of the Guild Gate, but I'm going to take the Pack Beast. I've been meaning to try this card. I like it quite a bit. So, Vivid Revival. We do have a couple multicolor cards, and they're good. Just not sure that's the tool that we want. Although, at this point, we are looking like a little bit... We're looking like more of a mid-range deck. We're not looking like a... We're certainly not an aggro deck. So I might be okay taking this, and then we can supplement with cheaper creatures later, like Dissidents and stuff like that. Looking a little bit vulnerable against Boros, but we do have the Peacemaker and the Restorer, so I'm going to take the Revival. I'm going to assume we can pick up the tools we need here. So Blade Instructor is good with the Stray and the Companions. It's probably the card we want. Ledev Guardian's not that exciting. Crawl Forager is okay. Gateway Plaza is more fixing that if we're two color we probably don't need. Also, Blade Instructor is very good with Rock Charger. So I guess we're going to want some 2-drops. I'm going to take the District Guard over Okapi, but the problem is I actually like the Okapi more with our Convoke creatures. You can attack and then play them post-combat, but we need some more. We need some actual 2-drops here, or we might be in trouble. So I'm okay taking the Guild Gate now, I think. I think we're absolutely going to end up with enough playables. So, because I don't even want to play the first 10th District Guard if I can avoid it. Take a Restorer. All the Restorers. I guess we'll diversify and take a Guardian there. All right. Okay. We're looking perfectly fine here. This is a deck, but we want to do some pretty serious upgrades here. Like, I don't think the Guardian's very good. I don't really want to play the Restorers so much either. Tajik. Haste, Mentor, prevent all non-combat damage will be dealt to other creatures you control, and it can gain First Strike. That card's pretty cool. Let's see if it's worth anything. I doubt it is, but it's always worth looking. 13 cents. So Flower and Flourish is actually pretty good. I like the versatility of it. Otherwise, Sworn Companions, more bodies for Convoke. I think we're going to take the Flower Flourish. I like that you can keep more cards like this where you can keep more hands. This is just versatile enough, even though it's clunky, obviously, to just +2/+2 for 6 mana. But I like that you can keep like maybe a 1 or 2 lander hand with this and feel a little bit more comfortable. Or you can just play it later as sort of like a win condition in a grind. I kind of like it. I think we're going to take it. I haven't figured out what our cuts are just yet. I assume the Murmuring Mystic is gone. So Siege Worm is good. We've got a Pax Favor, which I like. There's another Righteous Blow, but I'm not really considering that one. We have enough creatures, so I might just be okay taking the Siege Worm is good too, but I kind of feel like I kind of just want this Pax Favor. You can play it for free, which is really deceptive, I think, and strong. An additional 3 damage out of nowhere is pretty good. We have some life linkers too, I guess not a lot. Bounty Agent, destroy target legendary permanents and artifact creature enchantment. It's also a 2-mana 2/2 vigilance. I think that's pretty good. Might as well look if a foil Unmoored Ego is worth anything. I doubt it is. 91 cents. Alright, there's a generous Stray in here too. We're taking the Bounty Agent. It's another 2-drop which we want. Randomly just kills legendary permanents, which I think is strong. And the fact that it has vigilance is very good for us. So we can start looking to cut some things. I think the Patrol is good too. Patrol might actually be better, but like I said, I'm more worried about not having enough early game. Because we've got good finishers now. I do like the Evasion though. So we can take another Selesnya Guildgate since we technically already have a deck. Or we can take the Siege Worm, or we can take... That's probably it. Or a Righteous Blow, which I don't really care about. This deck doesn't really want Righteous Blows if we've got all this Convoke. We'd rather play cheap creatures that can attack and block than a Righteous Blow. So we'll take the Guildgate for fixing purposes. Just make our mana better. Might of the Mass is a really strong card. District Guide is very good too. It can find gates. Sworn Companions would be great for our deck. We're going to take Mighty the Masses, though. I think this card is really strong. We can ditch the Righteous Blow already. I just don't think we need it. I'm going to take the Dissident. I think it's quite a bit better than our 10th District Guards. We can upgrade these into better things. I would like more cheap stuff, but... So Hazda Marshal is cool because we have enough creatures, but I think the Peacemakers make more sense to me because we're not beat down. I can start to ditch these restorers. I can play one though, and we'll bring in the Peacemaker. I feel like the life gain is actually the symmetrical life gain is not a big deal at all for us. Healer's Hawk, I feel like is a good card, especially with like Might of the Masses or any other pump effect or Blade Instructor, and the fact that it's a low curve card. Can power out some of our Convoke. I like it. I think it's a good card. Woodshaper I like too. I think I like the Companions more. Just more ways to power out Convoke. We probably are done with the restores. Bounty of Might's really good with the lifelink too. I really like the lifelink with any sort of pump effect we have. I think it's important. I'm going to take it over Woodshaper. Don't really care about Righteous Blow. Don't really care about Okapi. We'll take Righteous Blow for sideboard. I'm sure there's some matchups where we'd be really happy to have it. All right, Generous Stray Wheeling is good, but actually we're going to take the Patrol. We want Flyers now. Our curve is fine. Yeah, our curve's fine. We'll take the Patrol. We'll take the Siege Worm now. We probably end up playing that too. I think our deck is really good, actually. I think this deck has all the tools it needs to get there. And we can easily cut creatures because we have more creatures than it appears, because these are not creature cards, but they're creatures, and the same goes for our Assure a symbol. I think we're just off Vivid Revival. We have a fair amount of, geez, all this weren't, that's really nice for us. But we just don't need Vivid Revival. It's just totally unnecessary for us. We probably play 17 lands, I think. Yeah, I think we can play 17 lands because we ended up with enough. I thought I got another Generous Stray too, but I guess I didn't. Okay. I like our deck a lot. This is a cool deck. It has some pretty nice aspects to it. We have to make 3 cuts. We can separate for now. So we really have like 21 creature cards, which is a ton. This got a lot better in our deck now too. So if we're playing 17 lands, we can probably cut less exciting things, like Hitchclaw Recluse can probably go. I'd rather have a 1/2 that cantrips in this deck. We need some card advantage. I don't think this card's bad, I just don't think we need it. And we want to make 2 more cuts, and I don't want it to be the top end. Could be a Pack Beast, I guess. We're not beat down, so we don't really need it. It's not a bad card at all, I just don't think that we need it. I'd rather play our Convoke cards. I think they look a lot better in this deck. This deck is very good. I could get away with 16 lands and a Flower Flourish. I don't love that though. I might just cut the Blade Instructor, but I really like it with the Sworn Companions. I feel like it's not exactly what we want to do. It's tough. I feel like we cut it just because even though it is good in this deck, I feel like I'd rather have the 17th land to just make sure that we can get to this top end stuff. And even though it is good with like our strays, our charger, really good with the charger, and our companions, I'd rather just have the evasion of our Parhelion Patrol. Um, it's kind of cool with Unicorn too, isn't it? Attack with both Mentor first, then Pump on the stack. That's actually really good. I want to play it, is what I'm trying to say. I just don't know how I can do that because I want to make sure we have enough early game. The Hawk, the Agent, the Dissident. Once again, the argument could be that I can get away with 16 lands because this kind of counts as a land card too. But we look mana hungry enough and we have some card advantage with the Generous Strays where I feel as though playing 17 lands is a wiser move. And remember, 14 creature cards is not right because these are creatures. We really have a ton of creatures in this deck. We have like 18 creature cards. 18 creature spells, I should say. Yeah, this is a sweet deck. I like it a lot. I think it's very good. Ended up with some evasion too, which is quite nice. So we'll bring in the guild gates that make our mana better. And I guess we can do slightly more white than green, they agree. Cool deck. I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah. So, Selesnya, mid-range, go wide, or Convoke Fatties. Cool. All right, this is it. We'll see you round one. Round one, we can totally keep this hand, and this is just a shining example of why Flower Flourish is actually a good card, because this hand is a lot more risky without it. Because right now we're banking on drawing green, but we don't even have to worry about that with Flower Flourish. We can go turn one Healer's Hawk. We don't draw the forest. Maybe we just go turn two Flower Flourish and set up for a Peacemaker on turn three, which seems fine. Our opponent says, good luck, have fun. We say, you too. All right. All right, they go Shieldmate. I think we'll do the Flower Flourish now. I could have actually waited one more turn because I still would have been able to draw the forest. But I wouldn't have been able to play the Peacemaker, but I would have been able to play the Dissident. I'm not sure on that. All right, Erstwhile Trooper. I don't think it's that good of a card, so it does it's sort of a, I like that it can attack into things. That was a good draw. It's at least a big potential finisher at some point here. So we'll get in with the Hawk, play the Peacemaker, and we still, even if we convoke with both of our creatures, we're still a bit of a ways away from the Flight of Equinox. Not that that's a huge deal, but something to think about. So if they attack with both, I feel like we block the Shieldmate. Just because it basically Vigilance is a tough thing to play around because they would have it both offensively and defensively. So I think we will block the Shieldmate here. and they can pump it or whatever they need to do. But like I said, if I don't do that, I think it's actually worse for us because you can't attack back into it if you're not blocking it. I don't know. And it turns out they just threw it away. I'm guessing, I mean, that's a huge, I would argue, a huge mistake on their part. Because now, with this Dissident, we can actually play Flight of Equinox next turn, which is really good. And be in very good position to, you know, Bounty of Might, Might of the Masses, whatever we need to do. I'm debating not playing Flight of Equinox because we're kind of just keeping the beats up for now. But you can discard a creature. It's only once per turn, but you can do it on either turn. I don't know how I feel about this card. I feel like it doesn't... It's kind of requires too much. It's almost like a one-time effect you can get out of it. Especially since our opponent only has 3 cards in hand. Because now they're staying back, which makes sense. Are they planning to just sack the locket? We probably attack with everything and just make them discard a creature and then Might of the Masses. And I feel like that's pretty harsh because they lose 2 cards. Alright, so they discard the Painter. Now we'll Might. Yeah, and then we just pass. So, a head on board, a head in hand. The 2 cards we have in hand are very good. Next turn we can play the Equinox and still attack with our Peacemaker. Another Erstwhile Trooper. Aspiring Unicorn, nice, nice. I think I still want the Flight of Equinox here. So I think let's see, so we have 6, 7, 8, okay. We'll attack with the Peacemaker and play the Flight of Equinox. They can discard another creature if they have it. Alright, they didn't have it, so now we'll just jam this huge dude. Let's see. Attack with all these, I guess. trade our 2-drop for their 4/4 seems fine. They don't even want to do it. Drop the unicorn. Pass. We would have lost without Flower Flourish this game. It's pretty incredible. Alright, so they got a Vigor Spore Worm. I don't think it's good enough. We'll take however much damage we have to take. No cards left in their hand. We can attack with everything. Pumps our team, and they gotta be dead at that point. So we don't even have to show them the Bounty of Might, I'm pretty sure. I guess we'll find out. Definitely would prefer to not show them Bounty of Might, but like I said, I don't even think we have to. We're getting in for 6 in the air. They can only block 2 of our creatures, so they should be dead. They don't have any cards in hand. There's really nothing they can do. Alright, so they actually have a pretty good... The thing about the Undergrowth decks in a matchup like this is they actually have a pretty good late game plan too. Because we're not beating them down. I think what the Undergrowth deck really is probably at its worst against like Boros or something. Boros or aggro, is it? That sort of stuff. Yeah, because it's a little bit clunky too. But I feel like they actually shine usually against the kind of decks we're doing. Because they can survive to the mid game and then they're just spitting out fat for the rest of the game. So something to think about, but in terms of sideboard, not really anything we want or need. Don't really need any of this, yeah. Okay. Alright, we've got another keep here. Glowspore Shaman's a good one. They do put a land on top of their deck. Bounty Agent, nah, we'd probably rather trade with the Dissident if we had to trade with one. Technically, I could take the damage too, but I'm not in love with that idea. My Generous Stray trades a lot better though. I guess it does. I think I will actually take it now that I think about it. Basically, because like I said, I like that the Stray can potentially trade with the Shaman. Yeah, that's kind of a big deal actually. Could play the Rock Charger too, but now we're definitely playing the Stray. So we'll get in there. Play the Stray, draw. Much better trade against the Glowspore Shaman. Got another land, which is nice too. I mean, technically we have the Peacemaker, so might be better for us. Alright, Moodmark Painter, so they're going to be able to get in for 4 here, which is probably okay. We still have the Peacemaker. So we can play the Centaur now, that's kind of good. Probably just do that, or we could play the Rock Charger, but this seems better to me. That way we can attack and still power out Convoke guys, which I think is better. And if we draw land, we can go Charger plus Bounty Agent, which is also nice. Portcullis Vine, okay. I was wondering during drafting where that fits best, and I would say this is where it fits best. That makes sense. The Undergrowth deck. You get a creature in your yard, you get card draw out of it, you get some early blocks. That does make the most sense for that deck. Okay, so 2 cards left in their hand. Land there is very good. So technically we can power out the Flight of Equinox, can't we? We totally can. But I can also do Pax Favor plus Rock Charger, which I like more. Let's say they triple block my Centaur and I Pax Favor. Well, I don't have to Pax Favor if they triple block. So it definitely makes the most sense to just attack with the Centaur here. And we can use the Pax Favor, convoke it, and still cast Rock Charger, which I think is a big deal. And like I said, if they triple block, we'll just, get our 2-for-1. So we'll Pax Favor here. Kill their 2 things. And we'll play the Rock Charger. That lets us start getting in with the Centaur here. I didn't have to attack either, but I felt like getting a couple guys off the board is pretty advantageous for us. Especially since next turn I can attack with Charger and Centaur and still power out a Flight of Equinox. That's pretty good. Like, this is kind of the basis of their deck, putting creatures in their yard, so it's debatable whether that's good, but I mean, we still got a 2-for-1 out of it. I guess even if at worst you could consider it like a 1.5, well, that's a little bit more of a big deal. It's like the one time that Vigilance is bad. Actually, that's not that huge of a deal. I guess I would still prefer to trade my Centaurs than my... I'm surprised they attacked there. Alright, we'll take it. That's a good draw. Let's just get in with everything. So we can go Sworn Companion or Peacemaker. Maybe Peacemaker's a little bit safer. So we'll go Peacemaker plus Bounty Agent. I didn't want to play the Flight of Equinox because of the Assassin. And basically just gaining the 4 life makes us a little bit safer, I think. So if they have some sort of pump spell, they can kill all 3 of our creatures. We're hoping that they don't. But I guess even if they do, we can still play the Flight of Equinox. Alright. Locket's not very worrisome. Certainly not a second Locket either. Alright, I don't think they have the goods they need to win this. I think they had to attack there. So we have the 2 Vigilance guys, which likely lets us power out what we need. I think we'll just attack like this. Hmm. So now they can attack with their assassin to kill our Flight of Equinox, but then we have 5 attackers coming back at them. We're probably okay. I guess I could have just played Sworn Companions. Well, now I'm much happier that I tapped my whole team. That would have been way worse for us. If I hadn't tapped my Vigilance guys, we would have lost all 3. So, as awkward as the play was, it actually ended up being of some benefit there, which is funny. So they have 2 blockers. Can't quite flourish. So I attack with everything. They're at 7, so I'm getting in for at least 5. They block our 2 biggest guys. And go to 1. That seems good to me. So let's see. They can block here. Block here. If I don't attack with the bounty agent, is that better? It might be. I just attack with these 4. Maybe I just attack like this. Alright. And we'll just play the companion in case we need it. Could have played the siege worm, but I actually feel like getting more bodies out now is better for us. Alright, looks like we got match 1. We'll see you in round 2. Round 2, we won the die roll, playing first. Keeping. Good hand. I actually think a Symbol Flourish are really good together, and then if we need to flower, if we don't draw lands for some reason or something, then we're okay too. Rock Charger and Unicorn like each other a lot as well. And a Symbol Unicorn definitely like each other. All right. So I think we go Sworn Companions first because we actually have Convoke in this deck. Might of the Masses is also good with the Companions. So we'll probably dump the flower next turn if we don't draw land to just go land Rock Charger. I think that's better. Sure. If we do draw land, we pretty easily go Unicorn, I think. All right. So didn't get the land, so we'll go flower. And I guess we'll get... We have two of both colors. We have more double green than double white. But we have a double white in hand. I'm not sure it matters. We'll just take a green. So play the Rock Charger and pass. And Electromancer, okay. So I think we just swing with... Yeah, we'll just swing with a Rock Charger and a Soldier. And we'll play the Inspiring Unicorn. So I could have waited until I had a fifth land so that I could Might of the Masses my Inspiring Unicorn, but that's okay. That because now they can kill it with like Direct Current or Hypothesizal, but we'll allow it. We'll allow it to happen. Guess we could have also protected it with a Sure. They didn't protect it, so totally irrelevant now. That's a good draw. All right, so the plan, we smash with everything here. We give our Unicorn flying, pump the team, leave up a Sure as well as Might of the Masses. They're taking the rest, which is quite nice. So if I do a Sure plus Might of the Masses, it's a bonus 5 damage. 5, 10, 12. Not lethal. I can play the Generous Stray. I kind of feel like leaving up a Sure and Might of the Masses. I don't know if that's right, though. Getting another threat out there can't be bad for us. Because, like, we haven't hit a land this turn either, and we can still protect our... Like, I'd much rather use this offensively. But, yeah, I mean, if they burn their turn playing Hypothesizal to try and kill our guy, we'll just Might of the Masses instead. I think the problem is they don't... It's weird, isn't it? It, like, resolves weird. So they don't have to discard the card if I pump in response. I guess that doesn't matter either way, then. I think I'm going to play the Stray. I like being able to maybe play a land here and then potentially get the Bounty of Might next turn. That just seems so devastating to me. Alright, so now we can leave up Assure if we have to play it, and we still can keep our Might of the Masses around too, which is nice. So they direct current will Assure. Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah. I think they're toasty now. Well, yeah. Unicorn flies. This Bounty of Might is just... Honestly, I don't even think... Once again, we don't even have to show them the Bounty of Might. Probably. Actually, I don't know about that. We might have to. It doesn't matter. We can win with it, but I don't know if we have to show them it yet. It depends on how they block, I guess. Because we've got 6 in the air right now, so I guess we don't. It's lethal with Might of the Masses, so why even show them? Although they do have the... They have the silent departure style card up, so... Hmm. Let's do it to this then. Alright, cool. Didn't show them Bounty of Might. Beat them pretty handily. And we can bring in the Restorers if we need them. I'm not sure that we do. We have Righteous Blows for like Electromancers. I'm not in love with that either. I think we're probably fine. Usually Izzet is pretty aggressive. So like I said, like the Restorers, especially if they have like bounce or any sort of tempo, I feel like the Restorers would be better against that because any sort of bounce effect doesn't matter against them, and they're kind of just extending the game, which I think ultimately helps us. Although the thing is it has a lot of card advantage too, so that's not necessarily true. I mean, Luminous Bonds is not great in this matchup since they primarily use spells to get us. But I mean, we really didn't get a ton of information in that game. We saw Electromancer, Direct Current. We saw some creatures. Hmm. Like this is definitely good against Wee Dragonauts and the 4-drop Drake thing. So, I'm not sure. All right, I think we'll run it back for now. If we see more aggressive stuff, this is a great hand. We'll consider doing something different here, but for now, I think we're good. All right, nice draw there. All right, pass wall adept. We saw that last game too, that's right. Okay. So probably do the companions next turn because we have Convoke in the deck. Okay. So yeah, we go companions here. With our pump spells, they're quite good. Next turn, we still get to resolve a land, which is nice. Technically, we have a sure if we wanted to do that instead of a symbol. Although at this point, symbol with Might of the Masses is looking quite good. Guild Summit? What? That's unexpected. It's the first time we've seen that in the format. They can't really attack. Certainly wouldn't mind if they did, but I don't think they can. So Peacemaker, we can start dumping those out. If I had 2 green, we could actually attack with both our guys and might plus a sure kill both their guys. That would be pretty nice. But I think we'll go for the Peacemaker play for now, since it can attack into their team pretty nicely. And the symmetrical life gain is not super important. We've got some huge, impactful spells in our hand here. And even though Izzet can get a lot of card advantage, I'm kind of liking what we have right now. Getting the land draw there is nice, so let's attack with the Peacemaker here. Kill the Cyclops. It's a fine trade for us anyway. So we'll play another Peacemaker, I think. In this case, gaining life seems a little bit less like an advantage because of this Guild Summit, but I don't know how many gates they have. And once we get, like, if we can just resolve in a symbol, I'll try and play around counterspells this time if I can. If I can, I'll be a little bit smarter about that, which means we main phase this. That's fine. So if I draw the land, I'll main phase the symbol. Sets up better. Did not get the land. That's not a huge deal. We can play the Stray instead of the Rock. I like that more. They're at 28 life. We got some work to do before they're gonna die. So if we draw the land, we can go Charger. Did not get the land. Not a big deal though. We can attack with our soldiers, or a soldier in Pack's favor if we want. I don't really want to though. I'd rather just hang out. Watcher in the Mist is pretty good. So they put a mountain in the graveyard and 1 card on top. Centaur. So, yeah, we just go Charger here. And then we'll cast our Centaur. So, still 1 mana shy of our Pack's favor, even with our 2 creatures that can technically convoke. But the nice thing is, we can attack here with Centaur and Charger, or maybe just Centaur, with all the pumps that we have in our hand. Like I said, I guess one kind of problem is that them gaining life with the potential for card advantage could be against us in the long run. But for now, we're even on cards in hand, and I would say we're ahead on the board. Ral Izzet Viceroy. So deals damage to target creature equal to the total number of instant sorcery cards you own in exile. So they only have 1 in graveyard. It's not that much. And then the other effect is basically draw some cards, and that's what they're doing. So, okay, no problem. We're going to kill Ral. Right now, Might of the Masses makes any of our creatures lethal against Ral, which is nice too. So, I think yeah, we just kill Ral. So we get in with the Centaur and the Charger. And we're going to have to use 2 pump effects, but that's pretty irrelevant here, actually. Because they're probably going to block there, yeah. So what we do is, especially since they're tapped out, this is fine. So we just go Pax Favor and tap a soldier plus this. And then we go Might of the Masses here. And then we go Dissident. And we're looking pretty good. So they put a Disdainful Stroke in their graveyard. Alright, Leapfrog. Luminous Bond, the Leapfrog. And get in with the Charger and Centaur. Mm-hmm. 2 pretty powerful cards in hand for when we eventually need them. Four cards in our opponent's hand. I wonder if they're just flooded or something. Guess we get in with these 3. And we can always assure if we have to. Not entirely convinced we have to, but it's something worth considering. They're not blocking any of it, too. That's interesting. I think we'll go Stray to once again find our 6th land, because I feel like that's a big game changer. That's fine. Think of all the spells this game to counter a Generous Stray is probably the actual weakest card. So I guess they're all soldiers. Okay. That's fine. So we got our 6th land. I think we're just gonna replay the Centaur since they have counter magic up. Once we establish there's no second counter spell, I'll feel a lot more comfortable. Okay. So now we should be able to cast a symbol. They have played 3 counter spells, so I feel a little bit more confident that they don't have another one. That's an interesting one. Well, Alright, the thing now is they actually have counter magic up, so there's actually not a reason to play it on our turn now. I'd rather keep up Assure to protect if I have to. So, we don't have lethal with Bounty of Might either. We're just a little bit shy. I think 1 point shy. 3 plus 9 is 12, yes, alright. So, I'm going to be casting a symbol on their turn because, like I said, they have counter magic up anyway, so I'd rather them either potentially tap out or use the counter spell on their turn, so then I can Bounty of Might. Because I feel as though we just win. We'll take the 2. Alright, so we're gonna assemble, and if they counter it, then we can kill them with Bounty of Might. That's pretty nice. They're at 10. 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. Alright, we actually don't even have to use Bounty of Might, we just pump here. Alright, cool. We'll see you in round 3. Round 3, we have a keep. Not a super exciting hand, but I think Rock Charger has got to be one of our best creatures. It's a great card in this format in general. Alright, appears to be Boros aggro, perhaps. It's a good draw. It does allow us to go Rock Charger into Centaur, which is a really nice turn progression. Okay, so they're America, otherwise known as Jeskai. No play? Okay, well, let's get the rock down then. Sworn Companions too, but rock seems better to me because flying over top with Centaur is kind of a big deal. Like, Companions does power out a Centaur better, but I don't think that matters because we can power it out next turn anyway. Okay. Capture Sphere that, so it turns out the Sworn Companions would have been better to let us get our Centaur out here, but not a huge deal. So I think we play Companions now. It's better use of mana, as well as having lifelink kind of makes them maybe a little more hesitant to do the Fire Urchin. Okay, Watcher in the Mist. They dump a land, put another on top. So we go land. We are 1 short of the Flight of Equinox, so we go Centaur plus Bounty Agent. Sets up for Flourish nicely, but at this point we may be more interested in getting that Flight of Equinox out. 3 cards in our opponent's hand. Watcher in the Mist number 2. Alright, so they dump another land, or they dump two that... Oh, they put two lands in their graveyard that time. A Sure and a Symbol, nice. So, this is a case where we probably do the main phase, a Symbol, I suppose. Because that's... Playing around the counter is huge, but that plays really well into Flourish. Probably pretty close to lethal there. Okay, so now we'll jam the Flourish and get in there. And that seems pretty strong to me. We, on top of gaining 6 life, which is really good. Team pump and get in there. So we gain 6 life. And they take 4, 8, 11, 15. They go to 1. Can't imagine that puts them in a great position here. We don't lose anything either. Alright, they did have Dazzling Lights, which is unfortunate, but we're still okay. And they put 2 more lands in their graveyard, and they're at 1 life. Still short of Flight of Equinox, even with all those Vigilance creatures. And they're at 1, so they've got to do something pretty spicy here to not die. Alright, no plays. Alright, so get in with everything here. Alright, so playing against just Sky with some flyers. I don't think that we got anything that deals with flyers. We do have a Recluse, though. Alright, Recluse actually does make some sense. We want to be able to block their flyers because our late game is pretty good. The cut for that is probably like maybe a Dissident. The reason I like the Bounty Agent is it randomly deals with some things. I guess like, wait, was Bounty Agent out when I when I killed there's gonna be some comments about that if Bounty Agent was out when I killed what's his face? Ral, when I killed Ral or whatever. Not that it's a huge deal, but I did end up using a Might of the Masses to kill Ral. We'll see. I'm sure there'll be plenty of comments if that was out. Plenty of comments. Let's see. What do we cut for the Recluse? I just like that it blocks the Watcher all day. That seems important to me. We could cut one of our Sworn Companions, but I don't like that. I mean, Dissident seems like the card to cut, but makes us a bit slower. I think we will cut a Companion. I want to keep my curve reasonable here. This is a keep, and it's a nice hand. That was a good draw. All right. Jam an agent here. No attacks, no plays. Okay. We'll play the charger and pass. Sure. Counter that. We'll pass the turn. Okay. So we can play the Peacemaker instead. Good draw there. No reason to use the Might of the Masses now that I can see. Okay. So I can do the Colossus for... Oh, I think we wait on the Colossus for that reason alone. We're going to be patient here. Try and get a big fat out there if we can. So I can Might of the Masses now, and it becomes 7. It's pretty good, actually. And I'm willing to trade a Might of the Masses, I think, for a crab, too. I don't have to, but... Alright, maybe I don't trade my Might of the Masses for a crab. I was going to see if they wanted to do something different, but... I don't care enough about a 2/5 to use my Might of the Masses. I don't know if that's right or wrong, I guess. Alright, there's their Watcher in the Mist. So we can resolve our World Soul Colossus and hope they don't have anything too spicy. Like a Capture Sphere or something. They put a mountain and then topped a card. We can still be patient here. We're not in a rush, and like I said, if they have a Capture Sphere, it hurts us a lot more. I mean, granted, we could have, like I said, we could have gotten the Colossus out there. My thinking is, why do that? Oh, why do that? Well, I don't want to play into a counterspell. I think we go for it, though. We're going to tap everything but the Peacemaker. This way, if they counter it, because the 7/7 is big enough. This way, if they counter it, we still have the Peacemaker on blocks. So they did have the big thing, but remember, we still have a Bounty of Might, too, so we're just going to have to let that happen. So... do we hope they don't have another counter spell? I guess so. So they're just blocking like that. So I guess we'll go bounty here. So they're making that bigger. I think we'll just might. Hmm. All right. That was a weird exchange. Okay. So they have a 4/4 flyer now. We're going to have to deal with that. Not a legendary permanent, as it turns out. Well, that's... would have been better, I guess, if that was a 3-power flyer instead of a 4. Multiple of the integrity intervention's pretty good. Forgot if we have an artifact out in this deck. I want to say we don't. I can't recall. Alright. So, jam a Centaur here. Centaur can at least... well, I guess we can attack with... yeah, we can attack with Peacemaker and Centaur. Okay. That's reasonable. So, attack with these two. Alright. They do the double block, which makes sense. We don't have a pump spell either, so we pass. So, what am I looking to get now? I guess we have the Assemble, we have Siege Worm, Flight of Equinox, Parhelion Patrol, Inspiring Unicorn. Quite a few draws, actually, that are pretty good. So they have a lot of flyers. And they have the counter spells, too. I'm wondering if maybe we're supposed to go the more aggro route. Not 100% on that, though. I feel like the more aggro route... there's pros and cons. It plays around Disdainful Strokes better. Problem is our more aggro route is, like, overall less good. But maybe it's better in this match. I'm not sure. So they have open mana. Now we definitely... Yeah, we definitely end of turn a symbol, I guess. It doesn't, I mean, you can't play around the counter spell anyway you slice it, so might as well do an end of turn one, I think. So take us to 6. Maybe we do block here. I could have just assured, but I'm not sure that's great either. So, do the assemble. We could draw a flourish. That would be pretty good. So get in with everything, block. I mean, we gotta get in with everything here. We have no choice. And then we'll play a Sworn Companion here. Okay. Alright, so they discard an Electromancer so they can kill our Peacemaker. That makes some sense. That's interesting. I think that we double block. Because it's the different... Well, I'm just going to do it. My thinking is the lifelinkers are still pretty important. Okay. I think that's okay. Oh, they accidentally cast it on our guy? Oh my god, what a deadly, deadly mistake they've made. My opponent says that's what you get for drinking and playing Magic. Jeez. They were drinking and playing Magic, huh? I guess they thought Sure Strike was like a... They were playing it like it was a removal spell or something. Gotta get in with everything. Play the Hawk. Alright. Well, opponent made a pretty deadly mistake there. Our deck was sweet. We knew it was a good deck. And the matches were pretty good too. I guess there was a little bit of sloppiness from the opponents there, right? Match 1 was... Yeah, I guess there was some sloppiness from our opponents. But still, this deck was still good regardless of any sloppy plays from our opponent. Just because our opponent played sloppy doesn't make this deck less good than it was. I think this deck was quite strong, and I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll be back for more, of course, and we'll see you then.